What's up, everyone? Welcome to Savala's Craft Barbecue. So this weekend is Labor Day weekend, and we're just gonna kick back, relax. We're not selling barbecue. I'm gonna focus on making my sausages and stuff like that. But this video, I'm gonna show y'all how I'm gonna make some Angus short ribs. Okay, so I got these from Walmart. It's a choice, and they got some good marble. I feel like all these big old beef ribs always have good marble in them. So what we're gonna do is take it out. These are not technically the dino ribs, I think. So they have 4 bones, and these are the chuck ones. So it's beef bone in, chuck short ribs. So we're gonna take off some of this fat or this silver skin or whatever you wanna call it, and we're gonna get them seasoned up. All right, so once you get the silver skin off or whatever, there's a lot of silver skin. There was really no fat, so I took it off. I'm gonna get this, put a little Worcestershire sauce or whatever you want to call it on. I love the way it smells or whatever. I mean, you're already gonna taste it at the end, no, but at least it'll get the rub to stick. I'm gonna start off by putting some kosher salt on it. Not too much. Don't want to over salt these things, and that can happen real easy. And then I'm just gonna put some 16 mesh black pepper, or you can just use your local coarse pepper at the grocery store. Whatever they have, works. It's gonna be more of a like 2-to-1 ratio, so more pepper than kosher salt. This time, I'm gonna season the sides, but I'm not going to season the other side. I feel like it's a waste. On this one, I'm not. So, I'll go ahead and season the sides, but the back of the beef rib, I'm not. And yes, I'm going to keep the membrane on with beef ribs. With pork ribs, I do the same thing. Some people don't or whatever, but it's up to you. With beef ribs, you want to keep the membrane on for sure, because that's what's going to keep them together during the process. If you don't, and you're cooking these things, I mean, they'll fall off the bone. So you want to make sure you keep that membrane on. So I'm going to let it sit for a second while I get my fire on the offset ready. You can use a Weber kettle with these things. I've done that in a previous video, and they came out super good, but today I'm using my offset. All right, so there's many ways you can get a fire started, but I'm gonna do it this way. I feel like it's easy. I use these tumbleweeds. It's very just easy, and when it comes to long, hard cooks, I feel like you just want to make your life easier. And you can use butcher paper or something like that, which will be good if it's already, greased up from the cook before. But not a lot of people are gonna hold on to stuff like that unless you're a restaurant. So this is, I think, called a Lincoln log pattern, and so we got 2 flats on the side, and so I like this piece because it has a lot of dry wood sticking out. So put it over there. This little piece too will burn real good. Put them about an inch apart or so, and then see how they're catching on real quick. Now I'll put that one pretty close, and then this one I just put it right there, and I'll just wait till it catches and develop some coals, and then we'll go from there. So what we're gonna do is, once you get the coals the way you want them, go ahead and put your meat in. Now, this is a thinner side compared to this side, so I'm gonna put the thicker side towards the fire. Put it pretty close, since that's the only thing I'm cooking today. And then yeah, we're just gonna wait, give it about 3 hours and take a look at it. We're not gonna do a lot of spritzing or any of that. We're just gonna let the meat and the fire do its thing and take its course, okay? You don't really have to spray all that much. I would say maybe towards the end. I feel like more people just kind of overdo it with that. But again, it's your preference. Let's just let it do its thing right now. Also, y'all, I forgot to mention, we're gonna make salsa today. I figured since I'm making the beef ribs, I can smoke some salsa. So for this recipe, it's pretty simple. This part, you know, we're gonna smoke 5 Roma tomatoes. Okay, I'm gonna put them by the fire too. I'm gonna get them toasted. All right, so 5 Roma tomatoes. We're gonna have 1 red bell pepper. Okay, 1 garlic. I'm not gonna use the whole garlic clove as far as in the salsa, but I'm just gonna put the whole thing for now. I'm gonna use half an onion. Okay, put it over here, and then I'm gonna use 5 jalapenos. It's up to y'all how many jalapenos you want to use. I used 6 last time. I liked it that way, but my wife said to dial back a little bit, so I'm using 5 this time. And then we're gonna smoke it. We're getting some color, maybe soften them up. But right now I'm just worried about smoking them, getting some flavor, and then I could finish up in the oven and just put it on broil and toast them up more. But I just want to develop some flavor, and then we'll blend that together in a bit, and we'll have some salsa for me and my wife to, you know, eat with chips or whatever. Throughout the week you can use it. So yeah. So it took about 40 minutes and it toasted pretty good. You know, I don't want it to be over mushed or too toasty. Some of the jalapenos got pretty toasty, which I guess is cool, but it smells great, y'all. Make sure your garlic is soft, but you don't want to burn it. Smells great, and this is why I like smoked salsa. It just, there's nothing better to me than smoked salsa. I was cooking with post oak, so that's the majority wood I cook with, this oak. And but a good wood that I recommend making with salsa, hands down my favorite, mesquite. I love the way mesquite smells and everything. Just make sure you're burning a clean fire. If you need to like split the wood smaller so it burns cleaner and faster, do that, because there's nothing worse than having over smoked mesquite salsa. I've done it one time. I didn't even blend them together. We tasted it. No, you know what? I did. I blended it together, tasted it. I'm like, nope, it just too overbearing. So when you smoke it, just be careful, but mesquite is my favorite, hands down. I'm gonna let these cool off, and then I'm gonna go and blend them together. Okay, so I put the tomatoes in here. I halved them, put them in there. Chopped up the onions a little bit, put them in here. And then the rest of the stuff, the jalapenos. I leave the seeds. If you wanna take the seeds out, that's up to you. I like my salsa hot. I don't like it not hot. I feel like salsa is supposed to be hot, but everyone's different. Another thing I didn't show is I put lime in here, so about half a lime or so, and I squeezed it. Some cilantro on top, about a little over a teaspoon of salt, maybe kind of a little less than a tablespoon of salt, and same thing, about a teaspoon of pepper. And then now, everyone's different. I like it this way. I found that it tastes way better this way. When I used to make salsa, I used to make it just, you know, the vegetables and that's it, salt, pepper. And I found like it wasn't hitting the spot. It wasn't like something that was very great to me. So I found out that using a little bit of vinegar, maybe like a tablespoon of vinegar, give or take, and then a little bit of OJ, maybe about a cup of OJ or half a cup. That's good. That's gonna implement some flavor and it's gonna be good, trust me. So right now, I'm just gonna grind it all together. Whenever, I forgot to mention, so whenever you're blending it together, do what you like. Do what works for you. So if you like it real blended, do that. If you like it chunky, do that. You're gonna pulse it, take your time or whatever. Do what works for you. Food is supposed to be eaten the way you like it. At the end of the day, I mean, you're gonna go to places that you prefer because of how they cook things. You know, so there might be a barbecue restaurant or a restaurant in general that makes great food and they're very popular, but you don't like the way the food tastes because your preference is different. So do what you like. All right, so I went ahead and turned around the beef ribs, and so now the smaller side is facing towards the fire, just so it gives it a even cook or so. And it's been about 2.5 hours, I think. I'm not spritzing. I think a lot of people have trouble when they make these things with the bark. A lot of people don't get good bark sometimes, and I feel like it's because they're just spritzing it so much, or maybe they wrap it too soon. These things, I might wrap it, I might not, but I'm gonna make sure my bark is real good before I wrap it. Soft, rendered and everything. And if I do wrap it, maybe use butcher paper, so I'm not gonna put them in foil. But I wanna make sure that bark is like beautiful. I mean, that's part of why we enjoy these things, right? The meat, it's a lot of good meat. It tastes good, but that bark is the prime reason we enjoy beef ribs or brisket, you know? So let's make sure we develop that bark good. If we need to spritz it, we will, but what I saw, no, we don't. So we'll give it another 3 hours to take a look. Remember, beef ribs take about 6 to 8 hours. So remember that before you cook. If you ain't got enough time to do that, you probably shouldn't do it, or you're gonna be impatient. Don't cook beef ribs today. Another thing too is you should have let them rest at least an hour. I mean, you can let them rest a long time if you want, but if you're like impatient, at least an hour, I would say. All right. All right, y'all, so I actually did what I said I wasn't gonna do, and I kind of rushed the ribs because my sister invited me to her crib. So it was a total of 6.5 hours, which I feel like they weren't ready. But what I did was I just put them in foil, and then I brought them over here and let them chill. We're gonna cut into them, see how they turn out. If they turn out tender, that's good. If not, oh well. So let's go ahead and get into it.
They look juicy.
Oh, they're juicy.
Oh my goodness.
And I think they're pretty much tender. So we're gonna look at that.
Wow.
They got a little good smoke. We'll cut into it and see how it tastes. They're not as tender as I would like. I can tell by cutting into them. But we'll cut it into cubes and taste it like that. So let's give it a shot. Oh, I mean, it's good like that. I don't know if you bite it off the bone, it can come off, but like that, it tastes legit. Oh, that's good. All right, y'all. So, anyways, thanks for checking out the channel. If you liked the video, go ahead and like, subscribe. Until next time, but this came out legit. It could have been a little bit longer, but oh well. Circumstances happen. All right, y'all. Later.